Hello, Miss Luby. How are you? I had a book, The Hunger Games. Great read, great plot, great climax, great ending. The book was fantastic. I could not put the book down, literally. Never ever happened to me. Enjoyed it from front to end. Thought it was an excellent book. Author, Miss Suzanne Collins. She used to be a writer for Nickelodeon back in 1991. She wrote children books. She wrote Clifford the Big Red Dog, Little Bill, different stories of that nature. Um, and I've seen them on Nickelodeon, my little girl and everything, but did not know that I'd be reading one of her books or one of her trilogies, actually. She was actually criticized somewhat about that because it was kind of barbaric that you had children murdering children for a prize or the winner of the Hunger Games. She was also criticized about the book. They said it lacked depth. It lacked to keep for some reason to keep an interest of the audience. But I totally disagree with that. But she had a lot of good reviews on the book. A lot of people liked it, and it's actually, I think next May is coming out with a movie of the Hunger Games, and we can see that live and in person. And I really can't wait to see it. So I hope it measures up to the book and really go by the guidelines and the story of the book. The research I had to do for the book is actually when I did my research paper was on Does Love Make One Weak, and in searching out love, love is one of the things that we in this society use so loosely. We just toss it around. I love you. I love what you do. I love your hair. I love this. I love that. And we use it so loosely, but to know and understand the meaning of love, it's such a powerful word. It's such a strong word, and it's more than just a word. It's actually some action behind it. And I think Katniss and Peter showed love more than they talked about love. When you're willing to give your life for someone, then that is the true definition of love. You look at her or him to start with. He always liked her, or always liked her. Had a crush on her, and he got with the careers in order that she might be saved. He's risking everything that he knew um, to help her out. That's one thing love does. Love covers the person you're with. It don't want to see them harm. It don't want to see them hurt in no form or fashion. Where you're willing to give up yourself in order to make them a better person. That's one reason why I say love makes you weak, because that's exactly what happened. You become weak. You become vulnerable. You begin to think about what they want instead of what you want. You begin to think about their needs instead of your needs. You begin to think about their desires instead of your desires. And so you become a vulnerable person. A lot of people thought he was the vulnerable one because he admitted his love for her to start with. So they put him as the weak one, the one that lose, because if it came down to those two having to kill one another, then what would happen? That's one of the things I was actually hoping to see, or not gonna say hoping to see, but waiting to see would that be the end of the story. If they had to kill each other, what was really gonna go on with two people in love? But as we know, they changed the rules of the game because the love of them actually intrigued the game makers to the point that they changed the rules for the game at the moment. And so the research I had to do, doing research on love, and scientists say, psychologists say that love takes an effect on a person, almost like cocaine or crack. It's almost like a mental disorder. And when someone falls in love, I got someone in my family that is actually a substance abuser, and to look at them and see what it does to their mind, it almost puts them in a trance. It puts them in a state of unawareness. And I've seen people in love pretty much the same state. I've asked people that have been abused. I've asked people that have been in relationships that they spouse or their partner is being unfaithful, or they're being mistreated, and I asked them why are they there still? Why are you staying with this person? Their answer is because I love you. And the same thing with a drug is that you're in a state of being in that state where your mind is not there where it should be. And it doesn't have the same effect that a drug has. It almost take you into that same state. You're unaware of your surroundings. You're unaware of your circumstances. I've seen drugs drive a person to do things that they don't normally do. So does love. It drives a person to do things they don't normally do. I've been in love before. I know what it does. I've seen the effect of love and how it drives you. It makes you do things you don't want to do. It makes you say things you don't want to say. It makes you go places you do not want to go. The same thing that same effect that a drug might have on a person. It makes you very vulnerable. It makes you very weak. It makes you execute decisions that you would normally not do. And so that's what the power of love is. To see these two people in love was a great story because what they did for each other. They risked their life so the other person might live. I know when the game makers first said that two people can win the games, Katniss just yells out in the middle of the forest, and she could have easily been heard, easily been spotted, and easily been killed. But the instinct of yes, the person I love, I can now be with, is there. It makes a big difference. The research on this, it wasn't difficult because love is everywhere and love is all around. It's just different opinions about love. But to look it up and to find out, because some things I didn't know, there's different types of love. And to understand the different types of love, put it in a better perspective for me. But I really enjoy the book. I really enjoy learning what I have learned throughout this course with literature, with poetry, with dramas and plays and everything else. I really enjoy this. I thank you. You have a Merry Christmas and you have a happy, happy New Year.